Fate Stay Night Episode 8 Unlimited Blade Works, or just Unlimited Height Works. This episode was utterly amazing. As per, I don't see why I would have thought any way other about this episode, because it was amazing. This was such a nice, impactful episode. The fight scenes were mental. Like, when Saber comes to the school to rescue and, like, help Shiro and Rin was just... it was so damn gorgeous. And there's just so many little things in this episode that just... it made it feel so nice, because we get to see Shiro and Saber at the beginning, like, training, and how Shiro is actually pushing himself. We basically see him improve. Saber isn't having to hold back while she fights so much against him. Well, hold back as much as she should, because basically he's human. And I just found it so funny when she got jealous, because basically he's basing his fighting style off Archer instead of Saber, and since Saber's like the best swordsman, she just like took it to heart a little bit, and I just found it hilarious. As well as that, just Rin going full on dare in this episode was like amazing. When she was waiting for Shiro so she could take him up to the roof and have lunch was just so amazing. The way they did that scene, I absolutely loved it. And then when they were up there, like the whole blushing and all that, like, it was just... I think Rin might be best girl, man. Like, without a doubt, 100% best girl for this series. Like, Saber's amazing, all like the whole jealous scene was great, but Rin, just Rin, amazing. In this episode as well, we also find out that Shinji is 100% Ryder's master, and what happens to Ryder is a little bit of a shock. Basically, Ryder goes down in this episode. She gets completely obliterated. Basically, to give a little understanding, we're in the school setting, and Shinji, he's being a little bit mysterious as always. He's being a complete twat and deserves to get knocked the fuck down, but that's besides the point. He basically summons Ryder, and as we've seen around the school, there's all these little, like, different crests, and he ends up getting Ryder to activate it, and it turns into like this vortex prison. You can't leave the school, you can't send out messages or whatever, and then all of a sudden, like, these little skeletal bone things start attacking. All of the students are knocked out because they're having their mana or life force tapped by this, like, Sophia thing. So obviously Shiro and Rin have to try and stop him and stop the master and all that, and partway through, that's when Saber gets, like, spawned, and it's just... when Saber arrives, that whole scene was utterly epic. The way she was slicing through, like, all these golems was just amazing. Like, what they're doing with the budget and the animation for this show is it just blows everything else away this season. As this, like, story progresses, Saber ends up staying to fight these creatures, while Shiro and Rin end up going to where the spell has started, like the manifestation point, so that they can go and stop it. But they think that's where the master is, and the reason why Saber stays on that floor is because they think that's where the other servant is. So Saber starts fighting Ryder, or what they think is to be Ryder. Then we cut to Shiro and Rin as they get to, like, the classroom where this spell has been, like, placed, and we see Shinji sat outside, and he's absolutely freaking out because someone's come inside and stopped whatever he was doing. And then when Shiro goes inside, we see Ryder, and she is pinned up against the wall. She's completely dead. Like, her head is full on twisted round a couple times, and you see her body convulse and her neck twist back into place, and it's just so gruesome. And we find out that who did this is Caster. We go back up, we see Saber fighting Ryder, and Ryder transforms into Caster and then just fades away. It was just... I didn't expect it. As well as that, since we know that Shinji is a master, or was a master, because he doesn't have a servant anymore, there's still a fourth master in play. So if we're going to speculate, since I've just started reading the light novel, I haven't even got up to the point where Rin ends up telling, like, Shiro about what being a master and all that is. Basically, I'm still in the prologue. There's only two people I can think of in the school who are slightly suspicious, because I'm assuming Caster's, like, master is going to be male, because... I don't know, I just feel like in, like, the entire thing, we've seen Sakura was out cold, so the only other people I can think of is the student president who Shiro was helping in the prologue, as well as that is that mysterious teacher, the dude with glasses who's always walking around. I believe one of those two is going to end up being the master, but that's just a theory for another day, because we're going to end up seeing that next week from what the preview sounded like. So overall, an utterly amazing episode. I cannot wait to see what happens next. I like how Shiro's improved, and we've seen that, and just the relationship between Shiro and Rin was absolutely amazing. It's basically just win-win all this episode. Some solid. I'd say this was a 10 out of 10 episode. I can't knock it at all, and I cannot wait to see what happens next. So let me know in the comments below what you thought about this episode. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that great stuff, and stay around for that Fate Stay Night greatness. I've been Harry. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and goodbye.